Idiots need experts. Experts don't need idiots. We need experts to help us idiots. To give us idiots expert running advice. Experts to help the idiots. Hey!
Running Coach Nick. How do you train your mental strength?
Nick, you are full of mental strength. Can it be trained?
I think it can. Yeah, I think the more hard things you do, the more you prove to yourself that you can do them. I often looked at the ultra endurance events thinking, well, I don't know if I can do that because I've never done it. So the only way to find out is to try. And then if you achieve your goal, you think, well, I can do that. And that builds confidence in yourself and mental resilience, if you want to call it that. And just belief, really, that you can actually push your body beyond what most people would think is well, sensible. They're probably right, actually. But yeah, so I think you can train it just by doing more of it. I don't think you can train it by sitting in your living room and thinking too much about it, although I am quite a big fan of visualization. But when push comes to shove and you're, 27 hours into a race over the fells in the Lake District, that takes a certain type of mindset. I think my sort of go-to at that point is to think, well, the faster I run, the faster I can go home. So let's get this done. If I stop now, I'm going to have to phone somebody and they have to come and pick me up. It's quicker just to finish.
Alex. Mental strength. Trainable?
You know you can train your body. Can you train your mental strength?
Yeah, 100%.
And how do you work on it?
How? You make yourself do things you don't want to do. So it's all about, let's look at what you're going to do. You're going to do a staged event over 10 to 12 days. So every
10 to
day
12,
you're going to be getting up every morning. You think about day 5, 6, 7, your body's going to be aching and tired and not wanting to do it. Doing big back-to-back days, getting yourself physically used to being tired and your legs aching and forcing yourself out the door. Everything's hard till you've done it, yeah? But, and it's like you wake up after a big run and your legs are aching and the last thing you could possibly want to do is run on them. But then you do run on them, yeah? And then a couple of K down the road, everything starts to open up. And you're like, actually, this isn't that awful. But you only know it isn't that awful to do it, yeah? And then I do monotony training. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I find the time I most want to tap out of an event is when, it's just, you've got nothing to think about and you just get into that kind of negative, dull mind space and just like, I'm done with this, man. I just want to go. So there's a road from mine down to a place called Downton. So it's actually where the Tailwind office, UK Tailwind office is. So I used to go down there and I'd pick up my Tailwind order and come back. But it's just this long road and there's nothing there. It's flat and it's dull and there's loads of traffic up and down, trucks, and you're getting splashed by puddles. It's just thoroughly miserable. And so I like that run because that's kind of my monotony training. And treadmills. I like treadmills. I don't have a lot of big elevation around here, but I do have a 10% treadmill, so I can get on that. And rather than switch off through YouTube, just look at that clock. Because that clock, if you're going to give yourself an hour, by 40 minutes, you want to, I put it on 10% for an hour. By 40 minutes, all you want to do is stop. Or you want to crank the pace down, or you want to lower the elevation. You just want to stop, but it's just forcing yourself through that last 20 minutes. Then when you've done it, you feel good. But that kind of builds a kind of mental robustness of, if not, because it's so easy just to bang the button on the treadmill and lower it down again. It kind of builds that kind of mental resilience. So it's a case of, doing things when I heard a great tip. So I'm not going to take credit off for it, but I heard a great tip from this lady who was, it's really big, so I can't think of her name, but she's one of the backyard legends. GB backline actions. And her trainer, what he was getting us to do was on a Sunday, after a Sunday lunch, that Sunday afternoon after you had your roast and you're ready to, then she'd go for a run. Yeah. When the last thing you want to do is go for a run and you've got a full belly and you just want to chill out. She'd go for her run then. Just because you need to get used to be running with food in your stomach and used to running when you really just don't want to. I thought that was a brilliant sort of, it's sort of just about making yourself miserable, isn't it? And then feeling good at it. But it's doing those
that's
things.
just what we're thinking. That is no way to live at all. So, so just think about the most miserable thing and do it after Sunday lunch on a treadmill.
But evidencing point. Have you seen Jasmine Paris is oh God, what's the name of the race in America? The last one. It's the Barclays.
Barclays Ultra, sorry.
Have you seen her video on that? And
I haven't
she's up
watched it yet, no.
Amazing, really good. But you'll see her go up at 2 a.m. into like a blizzard, like awful weather, and go out running, first thing in the morning. That's mental training, and then her getting herself up and doing those things. Then you see the end result. Yeah, first female ever to do the Barclays. It's by doing that, and that's resilience training as much as physical training. That's building mental endurance.
Derek, the corn on the cob ultra runner. Can you train your mental strength?
As you know, Derek, Colin and I, as well as his brother Andrew, we are preparing to run the length of Ireland, so about 350 miles. And part of that, we assume, is going to take some mental strength, not just physical strength and training. So our question for you, do you think mental strength is something you can train just like training any other muscle? And if so, how do you work on your mental strength?
I think it is something that can be trained because I feel I'm stronger now than I was 10 years ago. And I think it's consistency in just keeping at it and always setting a higher goal. You guys you're totally there by taking that challenge on, and you know what's ahead of you, Matt. You've done MS Run the US, so it's just a much larger version of what you've done, and really a lot larger version. I think it's that those pathways are ingrained in a little bit like affirmations in that the mental strength. You know your body can do it. Or I know my body, when I was out there, I knew my body could run 26 miles. I've done it many times before, and I just keep at it. I break it down into smaller goals. If you could just make it to that next stop where the car is, or through that day, and then worry about tomorrow, the next day, and feel confident that you're going to be all right. I think that's it. And keeping very positive all the time, little doubts creep in. And then, both you guys have done a lot in the past too. I draw up on a lot of the things I've done in the past. I've already done a lot. I know my body can do it. So it's just my mind telling my body to do the thing it can do.
MS Run the US creator, Ashley. Thoughts on training your mental strength?
Do you think you can train mental strength, and how do you train yours?
Absolutely, you can train mental strength, and absolutely you should train mental strength. I train my mental strength by doing hard things. The harder things that you do, the stronger that you become. And the other thing that I've been doing consistently for the last 5.5 years is I meditate. And I know meditation feels like, it's a very calm, quiet thing. It doesn't you don't go into a meditation session thinking strength, like let's go run through a brick wall. But it does, it exercises your mind, and it reduces stress in your nervous system. And I find that it helps me focus better. And I go into meditation like that's my weight room for my brain. Here's where I'm lifting. Because then if I can't sit still, my benchmark is 13 minutes. If I can't sit still and breathe and think for 13 minutes, I have to start reflecting why. What's going on mentally that I feel that I can't sit still right now? So yeah, absolutely do hard things, do stupid things that will really help increase your mental strength. But then I also am a big fan of meditating.
Ultra marathon beekeeper Isaac. Can mental strength be trained?
Do you think mental strength can be trained like a muscle? And if so, how do you work on yours?
Yes, the answer is yes. Your mind is a muscle. Okay, so Horst sent me this clip maybe yesterday. Our great two marathoners right now, Connor Mance and Clayton Young. Okay, Clayton, I know all about his running career now because I've been watching his lead up to Boston and then his lead up to I think Tokyo. He is injured right now, all right? And so he is swimming a lot of distance, 4 or 5 miles. But then he had this great insight. The guy that is, in the running world, I guess, these two marathoners, if Connor Mance is Batman, then Clayton is Robin. He was commenting on how much work Batman did during his injury. He was swimming 10,000 meters a day. This is a distance runner who trained his mind through that injury time period to get tough. I mean, swimming is the most boring thing. And to swim 10,000 meters and you're a marathoner that's running, 204? He's training his mind right there. And I think Clayton was kind of intuitive that this is important. Not that the pool workout is improving your fitness, but it's definitely stealing your minds to whatever. It's so boring. So you got to live in your mind for that long.
Irish coastal runner Gerry. How do you work on your mental strength?
Can mental strength be trained, and how do you train your mental strength for these type of events or routes that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough as well because I have to, I'm determined to run around the whole coast of Ireland and strictly by the coast. I'm keeping strictly by the coast. So even though there isn't a time factor to meet, a time limit to meet, it is, eventually it's going to take me 10 years probably to do the whole lot. So, I'm happy to do, it's 1 mile, 1 kilometer, 1 mile at a time, really. It's as easy as that. That's where my mindset goes. And even recently I was down in Kerry and it was a miserable morning. I could hear the rain. We were staying in this Airbnb and I could hear the rain on the Velux windows and I knew I had to go out and start running. So as I was running, I was thinking, look, at least if I get 5K today, I'll be a bit further along the Irish coast. And then you think, even if we get 10K, I'll be a little further on the Irish coast. And that mindset kind of helps me along the way. I feel, just 1 kilometer at a time. And, it does work for you in the long term, especially what I'm doing, because it's taken me such a long time to do it, that I am achieving, I've covered all those counties when you think of it, even though it's taken me almost 9 years.
Greek ultra athlete Joe. Can mental strength be trained?
Mental strength, do you believe it can be trained? And how do you train your mental strength, Joe?
You just forgot that you're in pain, for example. You forgot. Or if you have to race like many miles, you don't start at you're not at the start line saying that, oh my God, I have to run 200 miles. No, you're going step by step, okay, every aid station. So you're enjoying the moment. You're enjoying the moment. And when the pain is going to come, because it's going to come definitely, you said, I'm not in pain. I'm not in pain. And it's not going to be for permanent, It's not. It's just moments. Your goal is more than anything else, okay? So the pain is going to stop. This is my mindset. So I'm trying to forget the pain, and I'm succeeding with that. Yeah. It's not going to last forever. So move forward.
Elite Pathfinder Sammy. Mental strength. How do you train yours?
Do you think you can train your mental strength?
100%. You can see, it was even like this morning there, I was out running. I have
an 8-year-old who's into the run, he literally looks up to him as idol. He wants to do backyard ultras, everything. He's only 8.
Wow.
And we were out running this morning, and there's bits of, like, we would go over to a wee park bit where they do a junior park run, and there's bits of it where it's a wee bit hilly, and he would usually walk it and then run off the top. Whereas today I pushed him that wee bit and was like, right, we're going to run these hills. And as we hit them, and he started like, keep going. And like, now that he's done that, I can guarantee you we'll go on Sunday and he'll do it again. And it's just about like pushing each time you go out, pushing it that wee bit further, a wee bit harder, a wee bit quicker, whatever it is you're doing. And again, it just builds confidence, especially if you're consistent with it. You build the confidence in that you can keep going.
Tough Mudder Ultraman Ben. Can mental strength be trained like a muscle?
Mental strength, we all know you can train your physical self, but can you train mental strength?
I think yes. Yeah, I think psychologists out there would probably say yes as well, but I think the mental grit, and I think it's a harder skill to train than people think. I think there's a lot of things we don't realize are actually the hard decisions. We need to train ourselves to sort of do the hard decisions, and like things like slowing down when required, reining it in at the start of a race. And I think that starts in training with taking rest days when it's appropriate, sticking to easy pace runs as easy pace and things like that. It's being able to forego the short term sort of wants and needs with a view on the long term. And I mean 350 miles, you've got to be thinking about how you're going to be at mile 200, 250, 300, and ignoring how good you might feel at mile 10. Thinking, well, no, if I spend the energy now, I'm not going to have it to spend later.
So, mental strength can be trained. Which is handy, because our idiots don't have much. Plenty of great tips in there. Next up, what do runners actually think about when they're running? This is Experts to Help the Idiots